This is the Said No One Ever podcast.
A podcast about things you never knew you wanted to hear about.
I'm Ian Bennett.
And I'm Martin Moore.
Let's get into it. Like, Martin and Ian are, man, we got nothing else to do with our lives. God.
I love this podcast. Missing the Apple event.
I
don't care. Dude, how was you? I haven't seen you. So we were off
2 weeks, man.
so it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You look older.
No way, dude. I'm going that beard, dog. I got that beard game. Beard game.
What were you up to the last 2 weeks?
Just coaching, what else?
I do. I follow your Instagram.
Taking care of my 2 daughters, and that's it, man. And just, self-care, got to take care of your mentals, bruh. Take care of those mentals.
I've been hitting the gym still.
Hey.
We're getting there.
Yo, you're getting beast mode. What are you trying to do? You trying to model, bro?
I'm trying to have my goal. I tell everybody my goal is to have the world's best dad bod.
Oh my! But you don't have kids, bro.
I know.
Funny,
that shit's popular, though, man.
And I want to be able to take. I'm gonna be 41. I want to be able to take a nice, really good selfie of myself.
Okay.
And look at that and be like, ooh, I look good.
You know what? My selfie game's got to pick up though. I got to pick up my selfie.
Yours is way better than mine.
Yeah, but I got to pick it back up. I haven't.
So speaking of selfies, today's episode is called Selfie Culture.
Selfie culture.
And we got a guy who I don't know how long we followed each other or known each other. It's been a little while.
It's been some years.
But you're a commercial. Shout out to the fellow commercial photographers here because that's what I do for a living.
Yes,
commercial travel photographer. He's a runner. Just an all around dope dude.
He's a runner. He's a track star.
Jarvis Lawson,
say that, man.
welcome to the show.
Appreciate that.
How
man.
are you?
I'm well, dude.
Why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about who you are, what you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I've been shooting for 8 years. Professionally around 4, commercial travel work. Just been fortunate enough to fucking see the world through the lens. I mean, it's an amazing thing.
It really is. Yeah. And do you mostly do travel photography, or you do commercial? A little bit of both.
It's a good mixture, man. Because of pre-COVID, I was traveling heavily.
I always forget about that. COVID.
Just doing some rad things, seeing the world, and then after that, had to calm it down, and then it's just been a lot of commercial work. Chicago, Milwaukee, Kenosha Racine, stuff like that. Yeah, it's been fun.
That's nice.
To switch it up.
And you're just doing are you doing everything? Or is there freelance, or someone hits you up and be like?
It's a good mixture of everything.
Nice.
I'll get a lot of inquiries about weddings and all that stuff, but I really don't dabble in that. But more on the commercial side,
As a fellow photographer, as you start to level up, weddings become that your dream is to stop.
Cool? You're too cool for weddings now.
It's just an entirely different beast,
right?
Man, it's
a process, right? It's
really is
long hours, right? Because you want to catch those moments, and you're like, dude, man, I don't want to.
All the editing.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's an entirely different beast.
I want to kind of get into photography. Because this is a thing that I think a lot of people don't really realize how big a part of their life it is. Whether you're someone like Ian, who is just taking pictures of his girls or the soccer, or you made that you made that video of yourself and you threw in a lot of your pictures in there. Or you're someone like Jarvis and me, who we do it for a living, or you're somewhere in between. Photography is a huge part of all of our lives, and so I want to get into photography. Where are we now? Why is sharing our lives through photography and social media such a ubiquitous human trait? What is selfie culture and this obsession addiction where we always have to throw our phones up and snap a shot at every concert we're at and every trip we're at? Why do we do that? I want to get into the rise of digital versus kind of the old days where we used to print out photos and make photo books. And me and my wife, we got married over a decade ago. Gosh. I have yet to print the photos out. I just kind of want to get into about traveling and taking pictures and just photography in general, and this whole new movement where kind of everyone is a photographer because everyone has a camera in their pocket. And what does that mean?
Yeah.
So, Jarvis, where are we now?
I mean,
photography. What have you seen change?
That was a long question, right?
Yeah,
that was a long question.
I'm gonna go with it right here because fucking perfect example. I was in Chicago yesterday. I was in the Hancock Tower. Have you guys ever been up there?
Yes.
Yep.
Haven't been up there in years just because it's cliche, but I wanted to revisit it. Gnarly sunset views. The fog was rolling in. I'm snapping photos, enjoying the view, and then I see everyone, putting the little hearts up with the. Try to catch the little vibes and shit like that. Had their phones up with the cameras and stuff, but just stuff like that. It just made perfect sense since we're doing this today about selfie culture. It's different times we're living in.
Because you got to capture these moments now, right? Because
Yep.
it's getting crazy, man. Because again, who knew we had to be like inside lockdown? So now everyone gets out. Now you're like, dude, I got to keep this memory. I got to capture the moment, man. Because it's getting ridiculous, right? You don't know if we're gonna be locked down again. And then what about like now, where it's starting to be like almost normal that you have a picture with mask on? Isn't that kind of crazy,
Right.
dude?
Yeah, that's what trips me out.
Right?
A lot of
Exactly.
times
Dude, all the time. I'm
it's,
like,
it's the norm nowadays,
Right?
dude, with the mask or without it too. But just like the whole selfie culture, specifically with social media,
yeah.
it's like second to none.
Right.
It's like you have to take it or you're not there. You know.
Well, exactly.
That's a
So
good
why
point. That's a good point.
why are we? Okay, here, let's go into. I got my stats.
Yes,
let's
you
kind of
do,
get into.
Statman.
Let's get into selfies in photography just a little bit, really quick. Ian, do you know when the first selfie was ever taken?
Oh my gosh. So like, okay, but what considers a selfie? Is it like you having the camera taken on you?
God, that's a good point.
Right?
That's
Like
a
how
good
does
point.
like,
Okay.
Are you like is someone
It
taking
could be
of you?
self portraiture.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
self-portraiture.
saying.
It do you know when it
Okay.
is?
I want to say it's early 1900s, right?
It was the first recorded selfie was in October in 1839.
1800s.
30-year-old
Man,
Robert Cornelius
Jeez.
attempted to take a self-portrait outside of his family lamp manufacturing store and sat motionless for 10 to 15 minutes to snag it. That's apparently the first
Damn.
recorded self.
So people thought this guy was like
Portrait.
cocky and stuff, probably, right? Oh, he's all into that's gangster.
He's
Let's
the goat.
go.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, look at me. I don't know how anybody viewed it, but
Right.
so like why I guess why do we do this? Is it because we all have cameras in our pockets?
Yeah,
And
man,
is
that's a
it
good question, man.
is Instagram and social media this animal where like you just see everybody posting like all these the best parts of their lives and all their trips and stuff, and you just feel this inherent need to do it? Like why do we want to take selfies?
Yeah, definitely, man. I think from being on Instagram for so long in the early stages, I think it was a mystique that it was popular not to showcase yourself or what you were doing. You had that mysteriousness to you, and then moving forward, Instagram produces more stories along with Facebook and stuff. So I think everyone just started to fucking put their faces on, the platforms.
Right.
If that makes sense.
So this is kind of nuts. So I did a little research just on, and I knew most of this, but it was just kind of interesting to kind of reread it. 85% of all photos today are taken with a smartphone. 85%.
Yeah, because it's quick and easy. It's easy access. I can see that.
Which means we're the minority. Like that's,
yeah, you
that's
guys are. Yeah, I can
nuts.
see. Who's gonna bring out that camera and that big lens and
Well,
just get it all
exactly.
down, but-
Especially like, here you can. When you travel, like if you're traveling for pleasure, do you have your big camera or do
Yeah.
you bust your phone out? Like,
I'll have both just in case
Yeah.
I
Really?
want to print something on larger
I can see
scale.
that. Yeah, I can see that.
But it's kind of strange. It's kind of like a contradiction that with I have my camera, I get hassled by it could be a complete stranger. Like, hey, don't fucking take that photo of me
Right.
for printing rights. But here you are with a smartphone, like you just said, you could take a photo and then 2 seconds later it's out in the world.
yeah,
You know,
that's true.
how old are you guys? Well, Ian, you're 38.
Dude,
How
why are you
old are
kind
you?
of killing my game, bro?
you look good, man, for 38.
How old are you?
I just turned 31.
Oh,
yeah,
well
you're a
done.
baby, dude. I wish
Birthday
I was,
boy.
Gosh,
So do you? I don't
man.
know if you would. I don't know how to say this without sounding condescending, but I don't know if you would remember Jarvis. But Ian, do you remember?
I
do you
would-
remember when
Gosh.
smartphones, old flip phones, first got cameras
Camera,
on them,
yeah.
and the news went nuts?
Yeah.
People are anywhere. You're in the grocery store. People
Yeah.
can snap pictures of you. Like the world freaked out when
Yeah.
old flip phones first got cameras. Now,
Yep.
I mean, you got to go out of your way to find a phone that doesn't have one. And so,
Yeah.
I think giving that tool to every single person who has a phone, I think is one of the reasons why Instagram has exploded and why selfie culture's exploded.
Yeah, but the biggest thing, you can make money off it now, right? Like, and I hate it because, like, the girls are doing it a lot. They're showing up with like bikinis and they're taking pictures. They're getting 1 million likes, and then now
Fuck
you're
yeah.
endorsing stuff. Now people
Yeah.
are coming. Wear this one. Wear this. Can you put this in
Let's
your
sponsor
shot?
you.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Ad
like,
rev.
so I think it's taking over, which is kind of crazy because now you've seen all those Instagram models and
Sure,
stuff that
sure.
are like just taking pictures, and there's no content in anything what they're
Just-
doing, but
it's just
Just no content. And my funny thing is like trying to like read the captions
Right?
in between the
Yeah.
between the lines, read the tea leaves of what they're saying.
yeah. But like it's huge, and like I mean, I hate to say it, my daughters do it all the time, and it drives me insane. They'll be on the couch, and I'm looking, and I'm like, me, I'm all about the selfie, right?
Yeah.
But when you're on the couch, and I'm like, what are you doing? Well, my hair looks kind of cool, or I have it like, and like we're on the couch, man, watching some football. You're taking a selfie right now. Like I just don't understand it.
every
I'm
minute.
on Ian's Instagram right now. You take a good selfie, Ian.
No. I'm not on there
Yes,
like
you
that.
do.
Not on there like that.
Holy
No
smokes.
chance. No, you're capping right now.
So in 2020, the highest resolution smartphone camera has a 107 megapixel image sensor with 100x zoom.
yeah, they're getting good because I had to upgrade my phone because I had to get a better
I don't
camera. My
understand how they can
daughter's.
pack a 107
Yeah.
megapixel
That's
image sensor
insane,
into a-
man.
In
into a
portrait
phone.
mode.
Fuck.
You got to be in portrait mode, bro.
The portrait mode hits
So-
different.
Dude, bro, everyone's like, yo, Ian, that's a nice photo, but you know what? If you did it in portrait mode, it'd be better. I'm like, I keep forgetting
Right.
portrait mode.
Get
I got-
artsy,
So-
man. You got to switch it up sometimes.
Dude, I know, man. I keep forgetting, man.
It's just
portrait mode.
astonishing how far portrait mode has come. Because when,
Right. Hell yeah.
when was that introduced? A couple years ago? 3 years ago?
2018 with the iPhone 8 Plus.
yeah.
was the first
Fire.
one with the
Fire.
camera.
And it looked like it originally looked like trash. Like
It really
you could, You
did.
could see it
Yep.
looked like if you know when we used to do Zoom and COVID,
Yeah.
and like you could put like a beach in the background. Like that's what it looked like. But now apparently today with Apple's event, they're going to be announcing portrait mode for video.
What?
So
game-
imagine
That's a game changer.
So
Let's go.
So imagine Ian, like you're trying to take a video of you like doing the soccer and all that stuff and trying to kick the ball, but you could have that nice blurry background.
See?
That's fire.
That'll be a game
Oh my
changer.
gosh.
So
See?
I think those tools are a reason why. Because for me, you go on my Instagram, I'm a photographer for a living. Like that's what I've done for the last like 5 years.
Yeah.
There's probably 2 pictures on my Instagram feed that are actually shot with my Nikon Z6.
Oh,
Everything
really?
else is my iPhone. Every single photo is my iPhone. And I've had like magazines like buy images from me or like companies that want to use them, and I'm like, just so you know, that was shot on an iPhone. I've shot 12 commercials on my iPhone, like with a gimbal.
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
I have a big one that I can use for my Nikon,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, you're
it's
talking
just
about stuff
such
I don't
a
even know. Gimbal, all that.
Yep.
What? Like
it's such a.
what is it? Are we
It's
talking
a-
about X-Men?
It's a beautiful
or are
thing.
we-
Geeking out right now.
Yeah,
I'm getting stoked like hearing
Yeah, I
these
was
stories
like,
about it.
Gambit?
The
Is it
thing that's
Gambit?
cool
Gambit?
is, Ian's, he's been working on some of these cool videos for his soccer for the Wave and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And someone like him that wants to kind of get creative with what he does and capture himself, he doesn't need a big old ass
a great point.
fucking
Yep.
camera and
That's
a
true.
100-pound gimbal. He can just go get a $99 gimbal off Amazon, put his iPhone on there.
Okay, I need to ask you
And
what's a gimbal. Sorry
so
to
it's
cut
one of
you
those.
off.
It's like a 3-axis stabilization thing. So it gets rid of that camera shake. So you can do beautiful
Dang.
cinematography and like pan
You can
around.
run, jog with it, man, and it keeps it completely.
So I could run next to you with the phone on the
Yep.
gimbal while you're like running down the field,
Yeah.
kick a goal, and then I could just like capture you perfectly smooth, and you'd have no clue it was. There's no
crazy.
shake or jump or any of that.
Damn, we'll
I
have
know,
to
right?
get one.
I'll get you one for Christmas.
That's
or
a
something.
good one. God.
At least 12 movies have been shot on a smartphone, including Unsane by Steven Soderbergh.
Dude,
Lady
that's
Gaga's music
insane.
video was shot on an iPhone. The average European is taking 590 selfies a year. Boy, that seems like a lot.
I could see that.
That's crazy.
That seems obsessive.
I can see that.
90% of people who have ever taken a photo in their life have only done it with a phone, not a standard camera.
Jeez.
90% of people.
I mean, I could see that because if you have a camera, especially if you're not used to working with it, there's a lot of technicalities that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
you know,
Right,
different
right.
settings and stuff that we know, but
And
just have
then
your phone, point and shoot.
86% of Americans say that camera quality is one of the most important things when buying a phone.
That's what they told me I'd upgrade.
I mean, think about it. Your phone these days, it's a phone, it's a camera, it's your GPS unit. It might
It's a
be
lot,
it's
man.
a lot of things that controls your home, and it's no wonder that people are picking them up and using them and just trying to capture and document their lives. So that comes with the caveat of what do we do with all these photos? Like
Yeah,
back in the old day, we print them out. Ian, what do you do with all the photos on your phone? Do they just sit there?
Do you want to be? I delete them.
Shit, what?
There
Not
you
joking.
go.
What?
It's crazy.
Dude,
like I live in the
Really?
moment, man. Like I'll take it and then I'm like,
That's
if
beautiful.
It's, yeah, if it's on Instagram, I'll upload it to that, and then I'm done with it. I don't keep it in my phone. Like why? Like I'm done with it. It's weird. I know, right?
Do you feel like you take pictures and then like you're done with it? You're like, why did I take that? I'm never going to look at that again.
100%. That's why I throw it up there.
all
I
the
just-
time, man.
yeah.
But for me, I just give myself maybe like 5-6 month timeline.
Yeah,
Okay,
man.
like
And
it's,
then-
it's sitting there. Let it sit.
Yeah.
Go back at it. Fucking smile, laugh at it, and then delete it.
delete it. Yeah, man.
Okay,
I just,
so I'm looking at my iCloud library right now. I have 35,235 photos, and I have 7,398
I don't even
videos.
use the cloud. You know, I don't even use the cloud. I
Really?
don't trust it, man. Someone's looking at that
Could
stuff.
be well, they
Yeah.
are looking at it.
100%,
Yeah.
dude. That's why I don't use the cloud, man. No, I'm not into that.
So what do you do with the photos that you do keep? Both of you,
What do
I
mean
guess.
keep?
Like, so the ones that
on
you
Instagram.
either shoot on your phone or like
Yep.
with your camera, do you print your photos out, Jarvis?
I do. I have a well, not
Well, he's got a business. He's probably
yeah,
has to, right?
yeah. I get a lot of requests to
Yeah.
do specific prints, but most of the time I print a shit ton. Won't even frame them yet. Just keep them at my mom's place for like storage purposes and shit like that.
Sure.
Because I'll swap them out in my apartment. Because I mean, I don't know. It's just different that I'll hang up some photos, keep them in for a year or so, and then rotate them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Because it's always a process of changing. You know.
So Jarvis, what is like the biggest like commercial or the best commercial you ever done that will like always will stay with you?
Ooh, I think it was Hometown Here. I worked with Jordan Brand, and they sponsor Marquette men's
Okay.
basketball. So we did a campaign with their Midnight Madness, and that was a 2-day event.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was fun.
that was fun.
Is that like a game changer for you?
It really was, man. That opened the door for a lot of shit, especially
Okay.
commercially. Just being there professionally, working with people from Jumpman from Portland. So they were
that's
there
right.
going over
That's
shot
right.
lists, attire, models, et cetera, et cetera. It was awesome.
Wicked.
So
I like
you
that. I like that.
you do a lot of traveling for what you do for a living in
Mm-hmm.
photography. Like, run us through that. Like, how did you get into that, and what is it you actually like you shoot or do when it comes to your traveling and your photography?
Yeah, so what was it? 2015, I was shooting all abandonment architecture around here, specifically Chicago, and then
Is
I
that
was,
still big, like the abandoned building thing, or like is
I think
Instagram
I think
over that?
I think they are.
Yeah,
It
he's
comes
got
in
some
waves.
Good shots. He's
It-
got some good
because-
shots with it. Yeah.
Because what, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, that's all you saw was
Yeah.
abandonment. And now
Abandoned
it's-
buildings, and then
Yeah.
people with their feet dangling off fucking rooftops.
That one
Yeah.
was
Dude,
a
I
huge
couldn't
one.
stand that.
Or that thing where they go on those painting things where the wall's painted and they go on there like.
Oh,
the
yeah.
butterfly. Yeah, you're a butterfly, my guy. Jeez,
Ooh,
man.
that's all I see in the dude naps.
Right?
That's another story.
Yeah, right. It drives me insane.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but the traveling aspect started really 2016. My first client that I worked with was Visit California, and they put me on game. Yeah, and like
Nice.
once I knew that I could
Dang.
get paid to travel, especially for Visit California brands such as that stature, man.
Yeah.
It was just like, okay, boom, what's next? What's next? And then Europe opened working with European traveling agencies opened the door for me in 2017, and just haven't looked back.
Dang.
Dude, that's so dope. So what do you attribute? Because for me, I got into photography because of social media, and because how I kind of snuck in right at the right time where, you know, Instagram was getting popular. It was really easy to connect with other photographers.
It really was.
And I really I believe honestly, if I had been 10 years older, I wouldn't be where I am today. Do you kind of attribute your same sort of success in photography? Because it's hard to do this for a living. I know 5 photographers who actually do it for like a living and make a comfortable living. It is not an easy job.
True. That's a good point.
So how do you attribute, social media, Instagram, and that whole kind of new culture to?
No, I totally agree, man. I got in at the right time as well, just like you. Early Instagram days where it was just a small niche of us photographers, and I was in a little group chat communicating with people that are doing really big things out east, west, and I was like the Midwest guy. Lonely Milwaukee photographer.
Where the fuck is Milwaukee?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, okay, it's on the map X amount of miles from Chicago. Like, okay, so you're
Like Russ Feingold. We're right here.
Yep, you're the Midwest guy. But just getting in at the right time, especially with social media, and then it's just something that I knew I wanted to do after college. It was just all iPhone. Back with the iPhone 4, you guys remember those?
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Little
was
glass phone.
That was
Yeah.
my favorite one still.
Yeah, that was a beast, dude.
Yeah.
It looked like an
iPhone-
old Leica camera.
Yeah, the
Steve
iPhone
Jobs said.
4, 4S, I had that. I shot with that for like half a year, and then I saved up and got a camera, and that just changed the ball game. And that was 2013. And then after that, just continued to work on my craft, man. Pushed the envelope and just kept it moving.
Jarvis, you're built different though. There's got to be some like do you play sports or something? Because I feel like your mold, like you got a good work ethic, and I feel like came from somewhere else.
Yeah, I played basketball collegially,
See, I knew it.
Division
Okay.
2.
Okay, nice.
Shout out to Parkside.
Hey, Parkside.
Go Rangers.
No, it's because I could see that, man. You're driven, you're motivated. Same thing like Martin. Martin was working on cars and stuff, and I could see that work ethic because like the way your Instagram is laid out, I'm like, this guy is putting some work in. Man.
Yeah,
He's not just clipping. You know what I mean?
I think it goes parallel with Martin too. Like we were in the right time, the right era where it was a different platform back then where you, if you really wanted it, you had to be fucking hungry to do it, you know?
But if you were hungry,
yeah,
success, there was, you could catch that carrot that was habitually dangling in front of you on the pole.
No, totally. So that's
so. How come you never wanted to shoot sports? I feel like
know,
if you played sports,
it's crazy. How
or did you?
I mean, I've shot a few basketball camps, games. Like the highest scale was just, like I said, the Jordan brand, but that was staged stuff. People shooting jumpers, dunking, and stuff.
Everyone's
like that.
doing that though. Everyone's doing sports, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's different niches, but back then I tried to stay well-rounded, but now I just like narrowed in my niche because that's what's gonna continue to get the revenue growing, because clients don't want a photographer that does many things.
Yes, you want to do one thing, like
find,
boss. Like you're the man
exactly,
for that.
exactly.
Yeah.
Find your niche.
Well said, Ian. Well said.
Because everyone always tries to do. That's why everyone's like, "Yo, I don't want to stay in a box." I'm like, "Yeah, but what about if that box is pretty?
Dude.
That box is, go platinum, all diamonds, all everything. I want that. I'm gonna stay in that box.
Yeah,
I don't want.
yeah.
Why would I leave my box? It's just like your home. If your home is on point, why are you like? So I never understood that. Right? I get it. People want to think outside the box, but if you got your box.
And that's what took me the longest, dude. Like I said before, I was just shooting architecture, abandonment, and then I talked to somebody, and I'm like, man, I really want to start traveling. He's like, okay, here's these big photographer heads. Try to contact them, and they'll see if they can put you on game. And
Is that what you did?
Yeah. I DM'd a whole bunch of photographers that are really doing it, like out west. I'm like, fuck, man. I'm from the Midwest. We don't have mountains, but I don't want to like copy you, but I want the blueprint of what you're doing, and that shit just fucking
and then refine it. And
they actually answered your questions.
Yeah, and I think the unique thing was that I put my own twist in it, because being in the Midwest, I feel like you have to grind harder and you have to work smarter, photograph smarter. Just gives us an advantage,
You really have to brand yourself too.
Exactly.
That was one thing for me.
Yeah, you did.
Because so Ian has his IB26 for his soccer and all
day, baby.
There's the way that Ian's branded himself is very similar to kind of like what you and I have done too with our photography. And I've always said this when I do speaking engagements and stuff like that is you have to be even more than your photos these days, and it's sad. Like just taking a good photo isn't even enough. Everyone takes good photos. Like you have to make them want you, because you're Jarvis Lawson, and that's the only person we want to hire. And it's kind of I found to be a sad trait having to brand yourself as a photographer, because you think your work should speak for itself. But
yeah, it's just different times, man. Especially with pushing video as well. That can be classic. I mean, does that classify as selfies with videos? Possibly.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
Yeah,
video selfie. Yeah,
because there'll be times where I finish a run and fucking adrenaline's hitting me, and I'm looking wild, dude, in the neighborhood. And I'll set up my camera like on a tree or fence, and I feel like fucking Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite.
Uncle Rico, how much you want to bet I can throw a football over them mountains? Then it doesn't even make it fucking close to it.
Set up the phone and like do sprints in like slow motion.
Oh my gosh.
Do you think we'll ever get to the point where smartphones you can shoot sports photography with it? Like right now, I feel like it's a lot of spray and pray. Like you just you need like 12, 14 frames per second and just hopefully snag one. I can't get Ian skirting down the field with my phone.
Now you can.
It'd be as sharp as a digital SLR or mirrorless. Do you think
that's interesting? I think it depends on not to bore everyone, but the focal length of the lens. Because you need a longer lens to shoot sports.
Right.
So if they could tie that in, I know there's different brands with lens attachments, but that shit's
the lens attachment.
I want
get all that
built in.
Yeah,
to my
exactly.
Phone.
Yo, can I get this walls like liner though?
Oh,
dang! Like, how did this guy make
shout
this
out to
liner
Wall,
look
dude.
good, dude? Like, dang, that's gold. And you know me, I'm all about my line and my edges, boy.
Yeah, let me know, man. I got the plug with them.
I love commercial photography like that. Like
Yo,
photographing products.
Exactly. That's what I'm like. That's amazing. You get to photograph these products, and of course they're gonna give you them. They're gonna give you the hookup. That's you're making.
It's
this
also
product amazing.
it looks tough, but it's one of the hardest things to shoot, in my opinion, because
why is that?
Especially if you have to use like a model, if you're doing like lifestyle commercial photography, because you're not selling the model, you're selling the product on the model. So to make the model noticeable and look good and showcase the product good, but also have them blend into the background's a tough thing to do. Making sure your colors are accurate, because there's Pantones and your Nikes can't be a different color in the product picture than what they're actually selling.
He's got some models on here that are looking pretty good.
There's a lot of technical things that.
Shout out to them. But what Martin said, man, it's just a lot of detail that goes into it that no one really
you would never
pays
know.
attention to. too.
Most of the time, it looks like just a regular basic picture. You're like, well,
Yep.
you would think there should be some sort of filter on it or some shit, and it's like they need to be clean and sharp, and they need to be shot in a way where the product's front and center, but at the same time, it's not gratuitous. You know,
And that's like the thing we're
tough.
fighting. That's like the thing we're fighting with commercial photographers.
Yep.
You know, and then you have the one who's really popular, just posting a plain selfie with some Herbalife
Yeah.
food or something on there.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
And it blows up.
Yep.
So I kind of want to get into, getting back on the selfie thing. How have smartphones and apps like Instagram, how have they made capturing our lives better and easier? And then to flip it, how have they made our lives worse?
Okay. Yeah. So easier, as we touched on before, different portrait modes. I know with the reverse camera angle, you can use your thumb to slide to do the exposure and all that stuff. So they made things easier for people. Have you tried that?
No.
Yeah, it's a game changer too. You got dim lighting. You touch the screen and you
Yes.
slide your,
Yeah. Okay.
you
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So just stuff like that. I think for
I did
convenience
it by
sake,
accident, but yeah, I know what
I
you're
didn't
saying.
know that.
Yeah, I know
convenience
what you're
sake, it's gotten better. I think it's just, and the downside obviously is that you really don't live in the moment for a lot of these things.
Yeah, I mean that's true. But I mean now you can capture stuff like I hate to say it, if stuff is going bad. I mean you got your camera there, you can film stuff.
That's
you
an
can
interesting point.
So I feel like it protects maybe hopefully the community. You know, I mean at the end of the day, everyone's got a phone now and everyone's got a camera and you can video. So I think less bad things could happen technically out in the open.
Or
which-
they can at least be documented.
yeah, exactly.
Reported.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Right? So then now you got evidence. So now people can't just go mess around with people and like, because you're probably going to get caught because there's going to be cameras everywhere now. Everyone's got a phone. Hopefully there's cameras everywhere. So I feel like for the community, you're making the community hopefully safer, I guess.
You know what's wild too? That sometimes I just think about like random shit at night. Like, have you guys ever thought about how many photos you are in someone else's selfie in the background?
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
I never thought about that.
I think about
when
that
you're
all
in the club or something?
Yeah,
That's
or you're
you.
in. Where do you go, Ian? In Florida all the time. How many people's photos do you think you're probably
exactly.
Good point.
When I was
That's a great
in? I bet it's
point.
hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah, especially when I'm traveling abroad, I'll see that someone has their phone out and I can see my head popping
Right?
in
Yeah.
the left screen or something like that.
Have you ever photobombed?
I have.
Yeah?
Have you,
Not
Ian?
No, I'm not
What?
a big. No, I don't.
I feel like you're prime for photobombing.
No, I don't do. I feel bad, like, because I don't want you doing that to me. I
I
feel bad,
suppose.
so I don't know. I should though.
I
should
would.
photobomb people.
Yeah, totally.
Dude, that's a great
Should.
question. I'm seriously thinking about.
Next time you're out, man,
Right?
around a mass.
Don't give me that picture.
I'm gonna
man.
be so
Did you get me in there? Did you get
so
me in there?
aware.
Yeah.
Ian, what's one thing? I mean, that was a great point about being able to capture a lot of bad things in the world.
Yeah.
That I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
So what's something negative having these phones and being able to shoot and just constantly having the phone up in the air like that? You know what?
I mean, just
Or maybe you don't see any.
No, again, just maybe you're just not taking in the views as much because you just want this perfect picture and stuff. But again, you're capturing that kind of that moment in that time. But I guess maybe you're not enjoying it for what it's worth at that time.
Sure.
I feel like you're not living in there. You got your
Yeah.
phone out, like you can't just experience it.
Like being at a concert and then you see
Yeah.
everybody's looking through the
Seriously,
concert
yeah.
through their phone.
Exactly. man.
As if you're ever going to go back and watch that.
That drives me
Exactly.
nuts because I'm there. I'm like, dude, I didn't even go there, but thanks for showing me. Like, you were there, and I had the same effect, right? Because you're not living there. Like, why? I paid for that. I could just look online or figure out and watch it online.
That's why
if I'm
there's a
gonna do
lot
that.
of artists like Madonna. They confiscate your phone before you go in.
It should be honestly.
That's how it should be, man.
It should be.
Or just have some type of policy. Okay,
Yeah.
record for X amount of time.
You
take
have
pictures for X amount of
15
time.
minutes,
Exactly.
and then-
Well,
Yeah,
that's like
they
the
put the
theater,
shit
right?
away.
That's the theater,
Yeah.
right? You can't
Yeah.
take pictures.
Exactly.
You can't
Yeah.
take video. Like, I think that's how it should be because, like, this is art right now. We're creating art.
Yeah.
You don't want to replicate that. You don't want to have a piece of that where you can mix it up and do. No, you want to see.
Live in it, be in it,
Yeah,
hear
in
it,
real
smell
time.
it, taste it.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I think they might have to go that route, man. Like the theater, no pictures, no. I think
like
they've
it.
got to do that, man.
I agree with you guys. I think one of the obviously one of the good sides is Ian's point about being able to document bad things that happen.
Yeah.
It does make it easier for people to capture moments in their lives that they may not have otherwise gotten. You have kids when the girls were growing up and they do something funny, you bust your phone out quick and take a picture.
You're holding
20
people-
years ago, are you really going to go get your Kodak and like load it up
Yeah.
with some film and no?
Well, you're holding people accountable now, right? Especially
Yeah.
like, I mean, obviously law officers, cops. I love cops, but now you're holding them accountable now, right? Because now if you do anything crazy, and like other people too, like even if you're just someone on the street, you can't just go up and rock a guy in his head, like someone could be taking a picture, right? Someone could, maybe they don't even have
You're going to be on TikTok if you do that.
Yeah, maybe if they don't have it right away, they can at least take a picture of the victim, picture you running away, and then you're done. So like I think there's something to be said with this whole kind of movement, which everyone has a phone. Right?
It's just a double-edged sword, because just like the crate challenge that was going on, people were fucking
dude. One dude did it. One
of
did
the
it.
gnarliest crashes, broken bones. But the first thing
Right?
you do is what? Record, take a selfie with the person.
It's so true.
It's like second nature nowadays.
Right.
Unfortunately,
I was at the mall. I saw Giannis, dude, in Build-A-Bear. And again, what
Are
did
you
I do?
serious?
Dude, there was cops everywhere. So I'm like, dude, what is going down? Because I'm not trying to get shot up, right? I'm like, all right. So I walk in there. I actually went to the Apple Store. I had to get an adapter. It's hilarious, and I had to wear a mask, which was fine. People were losing their minds. I'm like, well, I go, did you order something? They're like, yeah. I'm like, so just put on a mask for like 2 seconds, dude. Grab it and go. No, I don't want to wear them. I'm like, all right, then you're going to be chilling out here. I'm going to get mine. So whatever. That's another story. But I'm in Build-A-Bear, running around. Dude, there's cops everywhere, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, something's going down, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking, I'm like, wait a minute. I see this big dude throwing
Yes,
his little
sir.
kiddo, but I'm thinking, he's not throwing him that far because Giannis is that big, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, that's pretty high. But Giannis' hands are already touching the ceiling. So then I'm like, oh my gosh. So he's in Build-A-Bear. And what do? Like a fanboy. Gosh. I'm like,
Bust your phone up.
yeah. And I'm like, oh, here's Giannis Build-A-Bear. It's so cute.
reaches in the pocket.
Yeah,
just
like,
slowly.
Right.
and
Slowly
like,
going, please don't let the flash be on. Please don't let the flash be on.
And everybody's doing it. And I'm like, oh, I'm that guy. Because I was like, what are you guys doing? Is Giannis? Oh, okay, cool.
I'm kind of a beast at that too. I have a twin brother, and he was talking shit this past week because I was capturing candid moments of him drinking. Yeah, and I just like whip around the phone.
Oh yeah.
Put it by the chest, and he wouldn't even know. Just stuff like
that is one of the, so getting into what I think are some of the negative things about having a phone and all this stuff is I think it can create a lot of anxiety and depression in people who may be susceptible to anxiety and depression.
Definitely.
Because you're on social media seeing people posting and sharing the best parts of their lives, and they maybe took 20, 30, 40 selfies, and they got the best angle.
Yep.
And if you've got some things going on, mentally or emotionally, seeing people living these gorgeous lives, going on these gorgeous trips, and just
So
being
true.
fucking perfect.
Yeah, very true,
I
man.
think that has a huge effect. I mean, it does have a huge
It
effect
really
on
does.
people.
It
And I
fucks
think-
up a lot of people's minds.
I mean, it does for me. I judge myself all the time. I
Well,
remember-
with little kids, right? I got little daughters. That's horrible. They're on Instagram. They're on TikTok. I can't advise it. I can't say, no, you can't do it. It's part of life right now. So they have to be able to use it responsibly. But yeah, they see all those girls doing nothing and wearing nothing. And they're like, is this what I have to be when I grow up? Like, that's what they're learning.
Right.
And for a parent, it sucks, Like, it just drives me insane. It's like, no, why isn't the girl that's like getting straight A's or doing something like businesswoman being shown in the same light? They're getting like 50 likes.
Yeah.
A
That's
girl
not
wearing,
clickbait.
yeah, exactly. It's like,
Right.
but the girl that's wearing like nothing is in a thong bikini getting like 100 likes that misspelled in her caption, can't even spell it. But that,
Right,
you know what I'm
right,
saying?
man.
Like, that's where I think we have to start changing the game though, and educate some of the people and be like, yeah, that girl in the bikini's fine, but what about this girl being a boss, got her clothes on, smart, running, a big company? Like, that's what we need to do. But it's not like that. It's like,
you're right.
it's tough,
I
man.
think we do need to normalize
tough, man.
sharing those
Yes.
aspects of people's lives,
I'm
and
gonna
even some
start
of
doing
Yeah,
that. I like
and
that.
then question for you, man.
Yeah.
So with that being said, do you ever feel if you're practicing in your backyard or in the field, do you ever have that moment where you just like do like the gnarliest fucking goal or something?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like some
I
type
feel
of
you.
trick
I
shot or
feel you.
something. and
Yeah.
You're like, fuck.
I wish
I missed it.
I wish I
Or
would have
you didn't have,
recorded
like,
it.
you didn't have
That's
like, the wife to
content.
record you. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
content.
Dude, 100%. But I always feel like that's my place where I'm behind the scenes. So like that's
Yeah.
not meant to be captured. So I feel what you're saying. I'm like, oh man, if I just had someone filming everything I do, they would have captured that. But I feel like in that moment, it's not supposed to be filmed. That's my underground work. That's me.
See, dude,
you know?
fuck yeah, man. That's like the
That's it.
that's like the equivalency of, because I'll get requests like, hey Jarvis, why don't you do like a little time lapse or
Right.
whatever video of you sitting down, editing your photos. And I think it's like what you said, behind the
Yeah.
scenes, it's kind of sacred to me.
Yeah, man.
Some days I want to,
exactly.
but I'm like, fuck, I'm just gonna let that be.
Yeah, why should I let someone see how I'm doing all this stuff, and then what they can copy me, but it's still that's my secret. That's my things I want to do. Like you got to pay me for that. You feel me?
That's your retirement job.
Yeah,
right?
you got to pay me for that. You can't get all that inside how I do it. That's my way, and you might like it or you might not. But
yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, so getting into some inside stuff. Travel photography tips, Ian. I don't know if you have any.
No,
but
I don't.
Jarvis, do you have any? If you're traveling, if I'm traveling,
Yep.
I'm not a photographer. Do you have any tips for me to take better pictures, better photos of landscapes and buildings and just what I'm doing?
And I would say, aside from knocking out the little shot list that you might have of going to the most famous spots, the cliche spots.
Yep.
Fucking go outside like the beaten path. Talk to the locals. Get some hidden gems. That's my favorite.
I like that.
Because when I'm traveling, dude, I feel like I lived there for a week or two, and then I'm meeting locals, going to dive bars with them, chatting, just getting all the gems, all the wealth. So that's like one of my that's probably my biggest tip is.
But don't fake it though, right?
Yeah.
Please tell people don't fake it.
Authentic.
Well said. You have to be
Thank you.
genuine.
Yeah, dude. Don't go on like you're on a private jet, but it's really not yours, and you're taking don't do that, man. Don't
I hate that.
Don't do that.
You
Don't-
hear about that too
all the
Yeah.
time, man. Don't do that. Don't say like you're going to Italy and you're really not, and you're right here, bro. Like don't like I
you
like
ever-
it. Get those deep spots, get the good ones,
Yeah.
and then take the back. Now you got the whole story coming together. I love
Exactly,
that.
man. You're piecing together a story.
Yeah.
You have the cliche shots,
Yeah,
sure, but then
exactly.
you have some hidden gems along the
Yes.
path that you can post on social
Tell a
media.
story. I like that. I like that.
So tell a story when you're traveling. Okay,
Go where the tourists aren't.
I like that.
For me, composition, man. Composition is key.
Oh,
It sounds
definitely.
dumb, but like
What is that?
rule of thirds or symmetry.
Rule of fucking thirds, man.
So
I'm telling you.
right up here.
Rule,
Like, oh, Ian's
rule
so
of thirds
dumb,
is
man.
basically draw like 2 lines horizontally and then 2 lines vertically.
Okay, that's a plus
And,
sign.
and you're splitting up. God, I wish we had.
You could put that on your iPhone. It comes with the app,
Yeah.
or the built-in app.
It's
your
basically
settings.
horizontal lines and vertical lines, and you want to put the focal point of whatever you're shooting, whether it's a soccer ball or it's your girl's face or something. You want to put that on one of these points because I don't know. There's something about the human brain where mathematically it works out,
Yeah.
and it
So I'm
it
learning.
looks
See,
good.
I learned something new.
And then you can get jazzy with it, dude. If you have a model, you can put her or him
Yes.
in the middle lines, but you can shift it left, right,
Yes.
play around with different
It's
compositions.
Google it. It's
I will.
or symmetry, which is my big thing. You go on my Instagram feed.
symmetry.
Everything's
Yeah.
symmetric. Everything is in the middle, and the left and the right are evenly spaced out. Whether it's
Oh, okay, yeah, that's like my feng shui. I gotta have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
I
think
gotta
just-
balance. I gotta
just go on Facebook and like look at your grandparents or your parents' pictures, and they have like that classic
Yes.
tilt shift photo.
Oh, yes.
where it's completely slanted. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That's terrible composition.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, that makes sense. All right, now I got that. That's funny.
and then
Composition, I like it.
I guess my other last one is use the built-in features of just your Photos app and the editing stuff because there's a lot of things. A lot of times people shoot a photo with their phone and then they'll just go use the editing features in Instagram. There's a lot of raw data that the built-in Photos app on your iPhone or your Android phone can access, like exposure and brilliance and all that shit and dynamic range that you can tweak much better in-house, in camera, in phone than you can on Instagram. So using the built-in tools first.
I'm gonna ask Jarvis some real questions. I'm gonna hit him with some real.
Yes, sir. Let's
so
go.
when you're working with some of these models, man, and they're driving you crazy, how do you handle it, man? Like if you're like, dude, you're not doing what I want, or you're doing it your own way, like do it my way and be done with it.
I think early on it was a little intimidating, but the more I progressed and got better, I think there's a standard.
be
the
demanding,
people that I
yeah.
reach out to that they know what we're
Okay.
gonna do, and it's well planned from anything from the wardrobe to the background because that shit has to click. And in terms of what you said of positioning people, I mean, I think my voice is soft spoken enough where it's not intimidating.
Yeah, dude, you
where
got a good voice, boy. Dang, you
I'd
got
be like, hey, shift your head over here.
yeah. Okay.
Move this way.
So then,
In basic form.
So then what about you have like any tips for if like someone wants to do it? Because this what always drives me nuts. It's like they see your stuff, right? And they're just like, they don't give you the credit. They're like, oh, I got this. Oh, this guy's shooting this. Like, if you're going to do this, you got to be passionate, right?
Exactly.
You have to be passionate. People can always say, oh, I got the passion. No, not passion for like 3 days, not for 3 weeks. You have to have the passion. So what would you have, like, what would you say to someone that comes to you and says like, Jarvis, I want to do this. I like what you're doing.
Man, that's a good ass question.
Yeah.
I would say passion, man. You have to think about it every day. It has to be into fruition. It's just something that you really want to do. And then if you have that determination to do it fucking every day, every night and get better. Like when I started out, it was just like he got game. You guys ever see that basketball movie?
Oh, yeah.
I was not sleeping with my camera because that's a little bit fucking weird, but it was
Close enough.
close enough. Shit,
Yeah.
it was on my
Where
couch.
no laws were broken.
It was on my couch in between shows. I'm playing with the camera settings, getting my functions right. So nowadays, I can go into a shoot, and I'm sure Martin attests to this too, that your camera settings depending on the lighting and stuff like that.
Practice.
Because the money's good, but it can only take you so long, dude, right?
Yep.
Like you got to be wanting to do this, right? This has got to be day in and day out, man. This can't be
It's not easy, that's for sure. It's a grind. You
being
have to be
creative.
You really do, especially in today's society.
24/7.
Oh, dude, that's
With,
the hardest
social
part.
media?
Yeah, man, creative, because like everyone's doing it. Everyone's seen it. Everyone's seen something do it. Everyone's worked with this product. Like, how do you differentiate yourself, or how do you step out of that box, which is kind of your thing? Like, when someone says that's a Jarvis photo, how does that happen?
Man, I think that just comes with growth.
Sweet.
Having a clientele that knows your style of editing. You can even, if you're into a photographer or photographers, you can just tell that that's their photo.
Because you got a style here, bro.
Yeah.
I'm watching you.
Yeah,
like,
that's been curated for years.
Yeah, I could tell,
just
man. I could
honing
tell,
and
man.
practicing and
You got a
working
cool
with different
style.
platforms. But I appreciate that.
Nah, you got a cool style, man.
Yeah, but it's just different times. When I was looking for representation to be repped a couple years ago, I was taking some visits in Chicago, and two of them told me, like, "Hey, Jarvis, we love your work. We think we can rep you, but at the same time, these bigger brands and these bigger gigs are getting swallowed up by influencers and
Yes.
people on social media where you can just take your phone, take a picture of the Land Rover or Range Rover,
Yeah,
those little
dude.
brands, and they're getting a bag for it
Right.
versus having a real photographer,
Right.
videographer do the work.
So true.
And that's like one of the challenging things.
frustrating.
So true,
Yeah.
dude.
It's very frustrating.
And that picture sucks, and you're like,
Exactly.
Yeah, you're like, God damn it.
right?
Yeah.
It's trash, bro.
All right, final question. Circling all the way back, this episode's called Selfie Culture.
Selfie culture.
How can people take a better selfie?
Yeah,
Man.
Because I don't know that I've seen one. I don't know if this is a question we should ask you, because I don't know that I've even seen one on your... Do you even have a selfie on your Instagram?
yeah, he does.
I
don't know if
I'll
he-
post selfies
No,
on,
yeah.
on my stories, but
Oh, okay.
yeah. I think I took a sad ass one last week when I bombed on my half marathon race, but I'll do like the self portraiture with my camera if I'm working with brands and stuff like that. But you said a tip?
Any tip
Man,
for...
I think
if you
just
want
the-
people to take just a better selfie of themselves. You gotta-
Find some
yeah,
good ass lighting first and foremost.
Lighting's
Yeah,
huge,
chase
man.
that
It
light.
really is.
Chase that
Don't
light.
have any bizarre shadows unless you're trying to be mysterious or something like that. If that's if
Fucking Derek Zoolander.
exactly blue steel looking ass, but just stuff like that. I would say lighting.
Lighting.
Yeah, that's huge.
Ian, do you have
No,
any? Because
I
you
heard-
take a lot of...
No, I heard lighting is the key, and like I learned that from my daughters, which is kind of weird. And portrait mode. Like they always tell me
Portrait
That's a big one.
They
That's
always
a
say,
big one.
They
Try it
always
out,
tell
man.
me. They always say, "Dad, that picture is fire," but you know it'd be even better. And I'm like, "What?" Portrait mode. I'm like, "Dude, I totally
And you can do
forgot."
it now, I think, with the front-facing camera, can't you? The
Yes, you
in
can.
air
Yeah.
quotes, selfie
Yeah.
camera. I think it
Yeah,
has
no, you
portrait
can.
mode
yeah,
now.
Yeah, no,
I
you
don't know
got
if it's any good.
No, it is good. I just keep forgetting because you have to when you go on your camera, you have to just slide one.
Yeah.
because it's just, and I always just.
Couple other tips from me because
What
I
tips?
take
Yeah,
a
'cause you're
lot
the
I take a lot of
photographer
selfies.
guy, man.
I'm a big fan of. I know people can't see it, but always shoot like top down. Like hold your
Yeah.
phone above you. You get a better, cleaner, straighter jawline. You look thinner. You do it
Dang.
straight like this.
And that's
You're gonna
like
get a flat ass.
that's the old man style too.
Yeah.
It's either right face forward or
Yep. Or
below.
up. Never shoot up like this. You want to look. Have a little extra pounds. Absolutely not. You want to look good. Always top down like that. And then the wider the better. Like. Most people don't know on the newer iPhones, the selfie camera, there's a wide angle and then there's a regular lens. Hit that wide. It'll shrink you down a little bit, make you a little thinner. It just makes you look
All
better.
the tips.
That's
Yeah, hell yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
I love these tips.
Hell
Dang.
yeah.
No, that's good stuff. But you're right. You're spot on, man. Top angle.
I don't know if
wide
I should be
angle.
proud of those or if I'm fucking sad. Dude, thank you so much for hopping on this episode.
what
This
a
was
good dude,
it's
man.
cool.
What a good
Again,
dude.
people don't realize how much photography and cameras are a part of all of our lives, and until you really listen to something like this episode with you, and you realize, God, yeah, I do. I'm always taking pictures, and hopefully it gets people to take better pictures having you on
Hopefully.
the show, and do a little bit more with them, maybe print them out or something like that. So
Yeah. I appreciate you guys having me, man. It was fun.
Nah, dude, you're
Fuck
the man.
yeah.
Your voice, dude. I might have to get your voice. Gosh, you guys got to hear
we've
this
had
voice.
our last
Man,
few
I don't-
guests
I
had
don't-
excellent
boy.
voices.
I don't fuck with my voice, man. Like I said, I had
Dang.
speech class at Parkside.
This guy must get all the girls.
I was-
Gosh, boy.
I I think my voice is fucking morbid at times, man. I think the craziest compliment I got was I would be a good speaker at eulogies.
You would.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, gosh.
That's what
you would, but dang.
My professor told me that.
That could be your retirement
He's
job.
so calm, though. Even when he's excited, I just feel like, man, I'm like, sometimes I'm overdoing it now. I'm like, dang, this guy's smooth.
I feel like you would be really good at reading children's books at libraries.
Yeah, but that's why maybe he's so good
shit,
taking
dude,
pictures.
I did that in
though.
my...
No, did you really?
Just for basketball camps and stuff
Okay.
like that. We went to school and I'm over here reading like Little Rabbit or something.
Hey, you can tell like he's the photographer, right? He's so
Oh, yeah.
calm, cool, collective, like
I've
just
been around the block, man.
yeah.
I've seen it all.
He doesn't get too hyped, doesn't get too low. He's just right there, boy. Dude, Jarvis, man, thanks. Where can they find you, man? Where can they find you? They want to hit you up. They want to get you
for
contact.
sure. So-
if they want some photos.
Hell yeah. Book B. Just Jarvis Lawson across all platforms.
Oh, nice. Facebook, Instagram,
Facebook,
Twitter.
Instagram, Twitter,
LinkedIn.
Jarvis Lawson.
Dang. Hey, that's easy peasy, baby. Yo, thank you for being here, man. Bless up. Thanks for listening.
Catch us on our social at Said No One Pod.
See you next time.
Here's a little teaser for you.
Drake high on that list because
Yeah.
like you can listen to all his stuff. Like literally, he puts out an album, dude. You can listen to the whole thing, man. It's that good, you know. And I think he takes pride in that. I mean, he's Canadian.
Let's get into it really quick. Certified Lover Boy or Donda?
Are you kidding me? Kanye? I don't even deal with Kanye. It's all about Drake because I think Kanye's too much. And it's funny that you said that. I love that you actually brought that up. I think Kanye's too much about like theatrics. Like he's doing all this. He went in like
Atlanta.
To like the Superdome or
in Atlanta. I think.
Whatever that he to record he stayed in the locker room. Like dude,
And
get out of
live
here,
streamed
bro. Like seriously, like yo, it's not that serious, man. Like if you're creative, you can create anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Now I thought like now you have to set the tone, and he had like 3 listening events. Come on, man. If you know your work is good, nah, you can put it out there. So. Kanye, you're whack, bro. I'm Drizzy Drake all day.
I knew it.
All day.
I think we already talked about that.
No, I mean, we might have, but I'm glad you brought it up. I'm all Drake.
I'm down to baby.
Nah, man, whatever.
It's so good.
No, it's whack. I won't listen to it. Seriously, I won't.
You haven't listened to it?
No, I won't give it a chance because the theatrics leading up to it,
It just already ruins it for you.
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
like, dude, why you like? Come on, man. Like you're not.